Hello, Yankees Nation! Welcome back to the New York Yankees News Network, your go-to source for all things Yankees. Today, we're stepping into the broader baseball landscape to address a hot-button topic. Are the Los Angeles Dodgers ruining baseball? Whether you love them or hate them, you can't deny the Dodgers have been making serious waves, from big free agent signings to their sustained dominance on the field. And while this might seem like a topic for Dodgers fans, it's just as important for us Yankees fans to dive into. After all, we've been in similar conversations as one of baseball's biggest powerhouses. In today's video, we're going to break this down into 5 key points. Arguments in favor of the Dodgers. Concerns about inequity in baseball. Proposed solutions to level the playing field. Reasons for optimism despite the disparity. And of course, we'll wrap it up with final thoughts. So grab your favorite Yankees cap, and let's dive into point number 1. 1. Key arguments in favor of the Dodgers. To start, let's acknowledge the elephant in the room. The Dodgers are a juggernaut in Major League Baseball. Over the past several years, they've consistently fielded one of the most competitive teams in the league. And this offseason? Well, they've been nothing short of relentless. They've extended contracts, signed key free agents like Blake Snell and Michael Conforto, brought back familiar faces like Teoscar Hernandez and Blake Treinen, and, oh yeah, landed Japanese sensation Roki Sasaki, one of the most coveted arms in the world. And just when you think they're done, they go out and sign Tanner Scott, one of the top bullpen arms on the market. It feels like the rich just keep getting richer. But here's the thing. Can we really blame them? The Dodgers aren't just throwing money at players. They're a well-oiled machine. They've built a reputation as a top-tier organization that knows how to develop talent, make smart investments, and create an environment where players want to come and thrive. Think about it. If you're a free agent or an international star looking to make the jump to MLB, wouldn't the Dodgers look like an appealing destination? It's not just about the money. Sure, they spend big, but they spend smart. Their scouting department is top-notch, their player development pipeline is enviable, and their front office knows how to work the system within the rules. You can't help but respect the hustle. Take Roki Sasaki, for example. Every team had a chance to land him, but the Dodgers made it happen. They didn't bend the rules, at least as far as we know. They just presented themselves as the best option for his development and career goals. And while there's an ongoing investigation into the timing of his signing, it doesn't change the fact that Sasaki chose the Dodgers for what they offer, both on and off the field. Then there's the Tanner Scott signing. While the market was competitive for top bullpen arms, the Dodgers swooped in and sealed the deal. It's moves like these that make them the powerhouse they are. So, Yankees Nation, here's the takeaway. The Dodgers' success isn't just about money. It's about being a well-run organization. And if we're honest, isn't that what we'd want for the Yankees? To be a team that every player dreams of joining? 2. Concerns about inequity. All right, Yankees Nation, let's tackle point number 2. Concerns about inequity in baseball. While the Dodgers' dominance is impressive, it also raises some serious concerns about the state of the game. Baseball has always prided itself on its competitive balance. Any team, regardless of market size or payroll, should have a fair shot at success. But when you look at what the Dodgers are doing, it's hard not to question whether that balance is being disrupted. Let's break this down. The payroll gap. The Dodgers have consistently had one of the highest payrolls in the league, and this offseason is no exception. They've spent millions to secure top talent, while smaller market teams like the Oakland A's or Kansas City Royals struggle to keep up. It's a classic case of the haves versus the have-nots. Take a look at Roki Sasaki's signing. Sure, the Dodgers followed the rules, but could a team like the Pittsburgh Pirates or Tampa Bay Rays realistically offer what the Dodgers can? Not just in terms of money, but in resources, facilities, and market exposure? The answer is no. And that's a problem. For smaller market teams, the Dodgers' spending spree isn't just frustrating, it's demoralizing. They can't compete for the same players, and even when they develop homegrown talent, they often lose those players to bigger market teams with deeper pockets. It creates a cycle where the rich get richer, and the small market teams are left scrambling to stay afloat. Unequal playing field. Then there's the issue of how this impacts the league as a whole. Baseball is at its best when every team has a chance to contend. Think about it. The Cinderella stories, the underdog victories, those are the moments that make this game magical. But when teams like the Dodgers dominate the offseason and stack their rosters, it can feel like the outcome of the season is predetermined. We've seen this before with teams like the Yankees in the early 2000s, and we've felt the backlash firsthand. Now, the Dodgers are in that position, and it's fair to question whether their spending spree is good for the game. Fan frustration. And let's not forget the fans. For Dodgers fans, this is obviously great. But for fans of smaller market teams, it's disheartening. How do you stay excited about your team's chances when you know they can't compete financially? It's not just about the money, though. It's about the perception that some teams are playing a different game. When the Dodgers can seemingly sign whoever they want while other teams are forced to scrape by, it creates a sense of inequity that's hard to ignore. What this means for the Yankees. As Yankees fans, we're no strangers to these conversations. We've been called the evil empire for our spending habits in the past. But even we can recognize that the current landscape feels different. The Dodgers aren't just spending big, they're outpacing everyone. And while the Yankees are still a top-tier organization, it's worth asking, can even we keep up with the Dodgers' spending and success? Yankees Nation, this is where things get real. Baseball is at a crossroads, and the Dodgers are a big part of that conversation. But don't worry, we're not done yet. That wraps up point 2. Now, are you ready to move on to point 3, where we discuss proposed solutions to level the playing field? Let me know, and we'll keep this conversation rolling. 3. Proposed solutions. All right, Yankees Nation, now that we've discussed the inequities that come with teams like the Dodgers outspending everyone, let's dive into something constructive. What can MLB do to level the playing field? Fixing this imbalance isn't going to be easy, but there are some solutions that have been floated around. Some are controversial, some are innovative, and all of them are aimed at making baseball more competitive for everyone. Let's break it down. Salary cap and floor. The most talked about solution is implementing both a salary cap and a salary floor. A salary cap would limit how much teams can spend, ensuring that no single team can completely dominate the free agent market. At the same time, a salary floor would force smaller market teams to spend a minimum amount on player salaries, ensuring that they stay competitive. Think about it. If there were a cap in place, the Dodgers wouldn't be able to stack their roster endlessly, and if there were a floor, teams like the A's couldn't simply pocket revenue-sharing money without reinvesting in their players. For the Yankees, a salary cap might seem restrictive, but a floor would force competition, and that's good for the game. After all, iron sharpens iron. Revenue-sharing overhaul. MLB already has a revenue-sharing system in place, but it's clear that it needs an overhaul. Currently, larger market teams like the Yankees and Dodgers contribute money to help smaller market teams. The problem? Some of those smaller market teams don't reinvest the money into their rosters. Instead, they pocket it. One solution is to tie revenue-sharing money directly to payroll spending. If teams are receiving financial help, they should be required to use it to improve their team, not just their bottom line. International draft. The Dodgers' signing of Roki Sasaki also highlights another issue, the lack of an international draft. Right now, international free agents are essentially auctioned off to the highest bidder. An international draft would create a system where teams take turns selecting international prospects, similar to the MLB draft. This would give smaller market teams a fair shot at signing elite international talent without having to outbid the Dodgers or Yankees. Luxury tax adjustments. The luxury tax is already in place to penalize teams that spend above a certain threshold. But is it enough? Some experts argue that the penalties for exceeding the luxury tax need to be harsher to truly deter teams like the Dodgers from overspending. Others suggest using the tax revenue to directly reward teams that stay under the threshold, giving them more resources to compete. Revisiting competitive balance picks. MLB awards competitive balance draft picks to help smaller market teams, but are they being distributed fairly? If teams like the Rays are consistently competitive with a small payroll, should they still receive these picks? And if teams like the Pirates are struggling despite these picks, is the system really working? The fans' role. Finally, we can't ignore the fans. As Yankees fans, we know how much power we have. If enough fans demand change, whether it's through social media, petitions, or simply showing up to games, we can help push MLB toward a more balanced system. But here's the thing. Change takes time. It's not going to happen overnight, and it's going to require cooperation from all sides. Owners, players, and fans. That wraps up point 3. Now, Yankees Nation, are you ready to dive into point 4, where we'll talk about reasons for optimism despite all these challenges? Let me know, and we'll keep this train moving. 4. Reasons for optimism. All right, Yankees fans, let's lighten the mood and talk about why we should still feel optimistic about the state of baseball. Despite all the concerns we've discussed, there's still a lot to be excited about, and a lot of reasons to believe that the Yankees and MLB as a whole are heading in a positive direction. Young talent across the league. First and foremost, the game is bursting with young, exciting talent. From rising stars like Anthony Volpe and Jason Dominguez on the Yankees, to players across the league, the future of baseball is incredibly bright. This new generation of players isn't just skilled, they're marketable. They bring energy, personality, and a connection to younger fans that baseball desperately needs. And as Yankees fans, we're lucky to have some of the most promising young talent in the league right now. Expanded playoffs. Another reason for optimism is the expanded playoff format. Love it or hate it, the new system gives more teams a chance to compete for a World Series title. For smaller market teams, this is a game changer. Even if they can't match the Dodgers or Yankees in payroll, they can still sneak into the playoffs and make a deep run. And for us Yankees fans, it means more October baseball to look forward to. Because let's face it, we live for the postseason. Increased global interest. Baseball is becoming more global than ever, and that's a win for everyone. Players like Roki Sasaki aren't just making waves in MLB. They're bringing new fans to the game from around the world. And the World Baseball Classic has shown us how much passion there is for baseball in countries like Japan, the Dominican Republic, and beyond. This global growth means more talent, more excitement, and more opportunities for baseball to thrive. MLB's commitment to change. Despite its flaws, MLB has shown a willingness to adapt. From experimenting with rule changes to implementing new technology, the league is actively trying to improve the game. The pitch clock, for example, has made games faster and more engaging. And while some of the changes have been controversial, they show that MLB is listening to fans and trying to evolve. The Yankees factor. And of course, there's one big reason to be optimistic: the New York Yankees. Let's be real, being a Yankees fan means you're always in the conversation. We have the resources, the history, and the fan base to compete year after year. While the Dodgers may be dominating now, the Yankees are always just one off-season away from reclaiming their throne. With players like Aaron Judge leading the way and a front office that's committed to winning, there's every reason to believe that the Yankees will be back on top sooner rather than later. The fans keep the game alive. Finally, the biggest reason for optimism is you, Yankees Nation. Baseball isn't just about the players or the teams, it's about the fans. And as long as we show up, cheer our hearts out, and stay passionate about the game, baseball will continue to thrive. So, even as we navigate challenges like inequity and spending gaps, remember that the heart of the game is still strong. The future of baseball and the Yankees is as bright as ever. 5. Final thoughts. All right, Yankees Nation, it's time to bring everything together. We've covered a lot of ground today, from the Dodgers' spending power to the concerns about inequity, the proposed solutions, and the reasons for optimism. But as we close out, let's focus on the bigger picture, and of course, how it all ties back to our Yankees. The reality of modern baseball. Here's the truth. Baseball is constantly evolving. Yes, teams like the Dodgers may be dominating the headlines with their massive spending, and yes, inequities exist in the current system. But this has always been a part of the game's history. What makes baseball special is its resilience. The sport has weathered scandals, labor disputes, and systemic challenges, and it has always found a way to move forward. And this time won't be any different. For the Yankees, the path forward is clear. Stay competitive, adapt, and continue to build for the future. While the Dodgers' moves may grab the spotlight, let's not forget who we are. We're the New York Yankees. We've been the standard bearers of excellence in this league for over a century. We don't just react to the trends, we set them. And with our combination of veteran leadership, emerging young talent, and a front office that's as committed as ever to winning, the Yankees aren't just part of the conversation. We are the conversation. Now this is where you come in, Yankees fans. If you love this team as much as I know you do, keep showing up. Whether it's at Yankee Stadium, online, or simply in your everyday conversations, let's keep the energy alive. Let's continue to hold the league accountable for making changes that improve the game. Let's keep rooting for our team, through the highs and the lows. And let's never forget what it means to be part of Yankees Nation, a family that spans generations, borders, and backgrounds, united by our love for this team. Despite the challenges, the future of baseball and the Yankees remains bright. The passion, the talent, and the energy in this game are undeniable. And as Yankees fans, we have every reason to be excited about what's to come. So whether you're tuning in from the Bronx, Brooklyn, or halfway across the world, know this: the Yankees aren't going anywhere, and neither are we. Thank you, Yankees Nation, for sticking with me through this deep dive into the state of MLB and what it means for our beloved Bronx Bombers. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit that like button, share it with your fellow Yankees fans, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We've got plenty more content coming your way, so don't miss out. Drop your thoughts in the comments. How do you feel about the Dodgers spending? Do you think MLB needs to make changes, or is this just part